You went on your podcast.
I was like, that cannot be the joking move to say it about me.
No. You didn't even want to say my name. You said this E-list celebrity. Which, to be fair, that's actually quite generous at that time.
Monét Talks.
If the search for a therapist is stressing you out, you're not alone. It shouldn't feel like a second job. What if getting started could actually feel a bit easier? It is with Grow Therapy. They make it easier to start feeling better. Grow makes it easier to find the right therapist for you. They connect you with thousands of independent licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions. You can search by insurance, provider, specialty, treatment, methods, and many, many, many more to find a therapist who's the right fit for you. And if it's not the right match, switching is easy, girl. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Find therapy on your time, evenings, weekends, virtual, in person. Book directly into provider calendars and cancel up to 24 hours in advance at no cost. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/Monét today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/Monét. growtherapy.com/Monét. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Monét Talks. Everybody come sit down, let's have a chat. Monét Talks. Living life gossip, chop it up, this or that. Monét Talks. Get comfortable, cause you on the show. We just wanna know where you been, who you been with. Monét Talks.
Yes, today we are here in studio with the legend, the comedian, the actor, the writer. We're going to get into that because I had no idea how much shit you have written. Please welcome the very fabulous, my friend, Joachim Booster.
Hello, my love.
Hi, Joel.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Sorry we were a little late, but the previous guest was
Totally
late
fine.
and it threw us off.
Straight men. I'll
Straight
let you
man.
figure out who the guest was.
Joel, have you been hot all your life?
No.
I don't believe
absolutely
you.
not. No, absolutely not. In fact, like, I think I talk about this a lot. Like, and I don't talk about this on stage anymore because look at the material, it's annoying now. But when I first started doing these bits about like me being hot, like it was before I felt that way because I was like this scrawny, bad skin, like bad haircut, like, 20 something starting stand up. And I would talk so self-deprecatingly about myself so frequently. And I found that really bad for my mental health to like get up on stage every night and be like, aren't I so fucking ugly? And so as like sort of an idea, I was like, oh, I'll just like start like talking about how hot I am. And I sort of reverse engineered self-confidence a little bit because I didn't believe it. And here's the other thing about those jokes early days. The audience was laughing, and I think they were laughing because they didn't like, it was a little bit like, this guy thinks he's hot, isn't that funny?
I see what
And
you're
so
saying. Yeah.
like, and then it like turned into something else. And now I've like sort of phased it out because I've heard the notes. I get it. Nobody wants to hear me talk about it. But like, yeah, I was not somebody who had a lot of self-confidence and felt desirable for a long, long time. And, I think like I've done a lot of things in my life to try to make myself feel desirable for other people. But it is one of those things where it's like, I'm the happiest right now that I've ever been. Yeah. And I'm not being crazy about my body anymore. I'm not being crazy. Like somebody literally said on a photo of mine that I posted last week they were like, you've clearly stopped going to the gym. You need to work out more. You're no longer a catch. And I was like, well, bitch, I'm engaged. I'm about to be married in 2 months. I've been copped. Okay. Like I don't need to be a catch anymore, quite frankly.
Girl, the things these people think they can get away with saying to you online it will never not gag me. It will never not be crazy to me.
Do you have this experience? Because I have this experience a lot where like, I don't I try not to respond.
Same.
It's like, do not engage with these crazy people.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're a little fucked up in the back of an Uber going across town, and you're alone and you're on your phone, and it's just something comes over me, and I will sometimes respond to the filtered DM, which is insane. And like every time I do, so I always ask the same question. I'm always like, what was your end goal from this interaction? Like, what did you want me to say? Like, what were you hoping would happen when you sent this message? And I would say about half the time they respond, oh my God, I didn't know you'd actually read this. I love you so much. And it's like in that, because when they wrote it, they didn't think of me as a human being. But when I'm physically responding to them, suddenly they're like, oh my God, he's real.
Yeah.
And I get that because I was that gay guy. I was that faggot on Twitter, like saying horrible things about, Hillary Duff. And it's like, I didn't need to be saying those things, but it really is hard to conceptualize until you get the filtered DMs.
Well, it's so crazy because that is a thoughtful, intelligent kind of way to respond. I'm not as measured. Like, you're such a measured person.
It's not always measured.
I go to the gutter. I'm like, that's why you ugly and your mother's fat, you dumb fucking bitch.
I mean, you're very much, if they go low, we go low.
Oh, 100%. Which I don't want to be that way though.
No.
I need to have more of that. Which you have.
I try, but when I will go that direction. So I found, and this is a new thing for me, relatively new, is like if people are talking about my partner, I will lose my mind. In fact, the only time I've ever gotten physical in the last like 4 years in a bar or something like that is when people are like fucking with.
You got physical in a bar?
We were in Australia. This is the last example of it. But I've like gotten in people's faces. But like this guy kept touching his ass, and he kept politely being like, and he's so non-confrontational and sweet and like kind, and he was just like, no, thank you, like no, thank you, no, thank you, and he grabbed him a third or fourth time, and I was just like, don't fucking touch my boyfriend again. And my boyfriend hates it, but. I think he kind of
he gotta like that. Girl, I said, I'm gonna propose. Word.
But no, and it's like this, because I'm pretty like at this point, I've been like reading the comments since 2016, basically. Yeah. And I know all 6 reasons why people hate me online now. No one says anything different. And so I'm at the point now where like, it really does mostly just wash over me. But when people talk about him, I get so fucking pissed because I'm like, he didn't ask for this.
Yeah.
He didn't want. He never wanted this.
Damage, like,
and like it's actually kind of pushed him off social media. He doesn't use it very much anymore.
That's so fucking annoying because of these fucking assholes out there.
I think he's ultimately more healthy up here because he doesn't use it. He doesn't really miss it. But yeah, it's wild. And also in this time, he's sort of backed off and taken all his job stuff out and our relationship off his bios because if I say something, if I pop off. Then like in this current climate, I was reading like people's like spouses got fired for what they said about certain situations in the news. I don't know when this is coming out, so who knows? But it's a weird time.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
I've never before been afraid of losing work or getting. Well, I guess like during the conflict in Gaza, like I have lost work and have lost reps, but like for saying something benign, it feels like literally you could get fired now for saying very little, criticizing Trump. I'm sorry I took it there. But.
No, remember, but it's true because you started off in stand-up comedy, right? Yeah. So like obviously something near and dear to your heart, something you have comedy specials, like you're a stand-up comedian. So to see, because I was talking to someone about this the other day, like that's what Putin did when he rose to power in Russia. He literally went after the comedians first because it was like, we're going to get them because they are the truth speakers. They make observations of what is going on and they speak in truth to power. So like, it's like easy to attack them first and silence those voices. So it's like, fuck, what are we doing here?
I'm not so much speaking truth to power in my sets. I'm pretty dumb, but there are good ones who are doing that. And I do it. It's like if I'm in serious mode, I'm in serious mode and it's a wall of text on my Instagram story. But like for the most part, like comedically, I've never quite figured out how to make something serious.
Got it.
You know?
Well, Joe, you are not. Y'all do not believe that this man was on Jeopardy, okay? And I was at my TV, I was screaming. I was like, come on, Joe, you got it, baby. I love Celebrity Jeopardy.
I won
shows.
Celebrity Jeopardy. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about Celebrity Jeopardy. The questions are for babies.
No, they're not for babies.
No, they are. They really are. Because like
then like goo goo gaga, because I'll be up there like, oh, what the? What? I'm stumped.
Yeah, they do make it easier though, because they can't test you before they come on, and they don't want to embarrass Ray Romano, so the questions are slightly, I think, a little bit like easier than normal Jeopardy. Because sometimes I'm watching normal Jeopardy and I'm like, how would anyone know this?
I know,
like it's crazy.
So you have to have such like a very like a vast knowledge of like a little bit about a lot.
Yes,
which
I mean,
like,
I cleared the Bible category in Jeopardy
because you grew up in the Midwest.
Because I grew up like studying that shit.
Yeah.
But like, and it's so unfortunate that all of that knowledge is still kicking around up there. Like, no matter what I do, I can remember who won Snatch Game every season of Drag Race, and John and Axe and Corinthians. Those are the only things that occupy my brain space.
Yeah. You're like, what is Damascus? Yeah. What was Peter, John, and Joe? Like, or, I don't know those. Well, Joe was not a disciple, was he? Joe the disciple.
He wasn't. Oh my God.
So is your fiance? Is he a very smart guy like you yourself?
He's, I think, much smarter than I am in a lot of ways. He works in video games.
Fierce.
And he's like a story producer, world builder in video games, and it's such a cool job. It's much cooler than anything I've ever done.
Are you a gamer?
I am.
You play video games?
Yeah.
What are you playing?
Right now, I have unfortunately lost my life to Marvel Rivals.
Oh my God, I'm a Marvel Rivals player too. Yes.
Oh my God, I don't even want to say how many hours I've put in on Marvel.
Like
Rivals.
roughly, tell us, Joe.
North of 700.
Whoa. I'm not good though. I'm not. I need to put in more time.
Don't put in more time. You'll again lose your life. I in fact got yeah, I've just spent too much time playing it, and we have like a second monitor in our living room to play this, so like he can be watching TV and I'm like over there.
Yes.
And like unfortunately, like I had to take a step back because we got in like a fight because I was in such a bad mood because I kept losing, and it's a phenomenon in gaming called being tilted, and where like you're like, oh, I'll just play one more until I win. You know, it won't feel good to like stop because I'm on a losing streak, and I just get so intense. And he was like, we can't be fighting about like. The impetus for a fight cannot be this game. Like we're not 14. But yeah, so I'm trying to back away a little bit, but I play all sorts of things. Like Final Fantasy was my into video games.
Okay, which number? Final Fantasy
7.
What? Okay,
7.
I'm a 10 girl.
Yeah. That was the first game that I played on my own when I was growing up, and so I love that. I love like RPGs in general. I love like Control is one of my favorite games. The Last of Us series.
The Last of Us is so good. God of War.
Good. God of War is amazing.
Ragnarok is one of the best games
I love.
In my life.
People complain all the time that all these action RPGs look like feel like the same game, and I'm like, keep making them, babe.
Yeah,
keep
I don't care. But have you seen the trailer for the new Wolverine?
Mm-hmm. So gory, amazing. It looks like Spider-Man, but like insane.
Yes, I cannot wait. I'm so excited about it.
Really
I didn't know you were a video gamer.
Yeah,
that one.
It's not something I like super broadcast. Most people just don't ask about it, so it never comes up.
Oh, I'm a big video gamer. I love video games.
I'm pretty deep in it, and like it is something that like I definitely like. It's funny, when we first started dating, when you pulled up our YouTubes at home, the thing he would watch to unwind after work was stand-up. And the thing I would watch to unwind after work were like Twitch streams of like games that I was not playing. And I would just like sit and watch other people play games. I think it's little brother energy, because that's what I would do with my older brother when he played games. I would just sit and like
watch him play
and do all the voices of like the text and stuff like that. And so there's something very soothing about watching a Twitch stream of someone else playing a game. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I also love, I mean, you're in an interracial relationship.
Oh, yeah. Let's get into it.
Girl.
Let's get into it.
Well, Bob and I talk about it
in the comments.
Well, you know, and that's like something like sometimes I try not to talk about it because I feel like talking about it gives
it
them
more power. Yeah.
more fodder, and it just gives them more thing. But I'm like,
Yeah.
no, like it's something like, because I got engaged. I
know. Congratulations.
Thank you. And like, there was a lot of beautiful stuff, great comments out there, but just like a segment of people that they just hate the fact that my partner
I had the same thing when I got engaged too, and it's frustrating because like people making these assumptions about us, knowing next to nothing about the dynamics of our relationship, and also not knowing my resume. Like people always are like, "Oh, of course he is one of these guys that only chases after white guys." Like there's one on record, my fiance, and like for the rest of it, and you know what's crazy? The night we met, dancing on the dance floor in PV, we like were making out, and I pulled away at one point and I said, "Are you completely white?" Because he is like Italian, part Italian, and so there's like a dark featuredness to it. So I was like, maybe there's something there, and he was like, "No, I'm completely white." And I was like, well, Twitter's going to be so mad at me. And he thought I was joking in the moment, but I was like, no. I knew that if I continued a relationship with this person,
yes,
I would like, there would be a whole segment of the internet that would just like, you know what it is too? I do think it's a lot of people that are trying to find a woke reason to dislike me.
Yeah.
And that is the angle
That's
for
the thing,
it.
yeah.
Where it's like, because it's not a lot of people that cared if I lived or died before I was with my partner. It's just like, it's people that are like, finally I have like a righteous reason to sort of come for him. And it's so, I don't know. It's just like, I think the conversation is so flat. Like, again, I had a guy come into my DMs over the summer, and he was like, this white boy wouldn't be with you if you weren't who you were, insinuating that, you know, because I'm successful now, like that's why he's with me. And I was like, A of all, have been with him since before I was successful, thank God. And B of all, like, he ended it with do better. I was like, what exactly do you mean by that?
Right, do better. What does that mean?
What am I doing wrong, and what do I need to do better? And he was like, he could not answer that. And again, it ended in him being like, I'm just such a big fan. And it was just like frustrating though, because I don't think most of these people know exactly what the POV is on that conversation.
They really don't.
Beyond, oh, you're dating a white person, that must mean you worship white people and are self-hating. And it's like, well, I can say definitively no. And so what now? Like, where do we go from here? Like, what do you think you're doing? And quite frankly, like, you know, people, you know, say that I'm not committed to racial justice because I'm dating a white person. And it's like, I'm sorry. I embedded myself in a white man's life for the last 5 years and have been systematically humiliating him on stage every single night. I am doing the work. What are you doing to make a white person's life a little harder? Okay? He was chased offline because of me. Like every day his life is getting a little worse, and it's because of me. So I am really putting in the energy and the effort here. As are you, I'm sure.
I am. I remind him every day. And I make it a point to be like, this is why, and making sure that because my partner happens to be white, that we don't shy away from those conversations when shit like that happens. Like I'm making sure I'm dating an ally, not just some white dude that's still like,
no, my partner is definitely one of the ones who's like, I'm sorry,
Literally.
all the time, to the point where like part of the reason why this conversation is so deeply frustrating and boring now is because like I just need it's also the white people like who are so unsure of how to talk to any of us, or there's just so much fear, which is like a little bit is good, but sometimes I'm like, okay, like, can you just, now you've circled right back around and are no longer treating me like a human being, and it like becomes benevolent racism. Yeah. And I'm just like, I would rather you like just talk to me and not be like, I don't know how to interact with you because I don't want to do something wrong. And it's like, it's not that hard.
It's not that hard. Just treat me like a human being. Yeah. Literally, that's it. So you're preparing for your wedding. Mm-hmm. Are you bridezilla? Are you like really anal? Are we doing 300 people? Are we doing a small ceremony?
It is larger than we wanted. It's roughly like, we're hoping to cap out at like 160.
Jesus
I know.
Christ.
Trust me, I know. And every no is so delicious. But you know what? It's been a really smooth planning process. And I think in part because, and I'll give you this piece of advice that was given to me before we started planning, which was before you have the fight, really stop yourself for a second and consider, do you actually care about this thing you're about to fight about? Because something about wedding planning really makes you think like everything is so important. It's going to be the best day of your life. So every detail you agonize over. And I've had moments in the planning process where I'm like, oh, wait, no, actually, I don't care what the napkins at our wedding look like. You can make that call if you have a strong feeling about it. And it's like, it's really made, like, I would say for me, there have been at least 3 moments like that. And for him, a couple as well. And it's really made the process way easier because it's like, he's just much more of an aesthetic person than I am.
See,
I'm much more a vibe person.
See,
so I'm
both
like
aesthetic and vibe though.
Well, so you're going to be the problem.
And Andy just really, he's not an aesthetic person at all. He wears like gym shorts and a sweatshirt every day. Like he's not that at all. Yeah. So I'm like, I care so much about the aesthetics of all of it.
Part of it is my partner worked at The Sims for a long time. The game. That was like one of his first jobs in video games, was working on The Sims. And so like buying furniture with him or picking out like decor or how we want our wedding decorated, he is used to like anytime there's a color choice, he would get sent 5 colors, 5 different reds that only he could tell the difference between. And so when we're like figuring out like what color tablecloth we want, he cannot make a decision because he's like, I need to see more options. Like, and he's also used to like a team of 12 designers making anything that he wants, basically. And so like, he's always like, this is like 5 inches too short. I wish we could get it 5 inches shorter. And I'm like, well, we can't. So
it is what it is, babe.
Now?
It is what it is, babe. Shouldn't get a little bit. So Joel, in doing research, I knew obviously you're a stand-up comedian. You're special, by the way, in 2010. Me and Andy watched it together when it dropped. So fucking funny. But I did not know that you were such a big writer.
Yeah, it's weird because so when I went to college, I studied theater and I wanted to be like a musical theater actor because I think like most people who grow up outside of like a big city or in the Midwest, like their only frame of reference for how to get into the business
is Broadway.
Yeah, because you're doing high school theater.
And
so I went to school for that, and then
that's when you did Little Shop of Horrors, right?
In high school.
Yeah. And y'all were gonna do it at the Pasadena Playhouse.
And then the fucking fires.
Yeah.
But I did that for my freshman year and then did a summer stock show over the summer, my first paying acting gig, and it was Thoroughly Modern Millie, which, if you're not aware, there are 2 Asian characters in Thoroughly Modern Millie, and it's sort of a comment on the way Asian people were treated in movies in the 40s and 50s, but it's not a finessed sort of parody, I will say. So it just ends up being kind of racist. And I did like 50 performances of that show. And I was like, man, if this is it, then I was like, I didn't love it enough to want to do the work involved to have a career in it. And I also wasn't good enough at the like singing, dancing part. So I was like, what am I doing? Got back to school and I changed my major to playwriting. Instead.
Wow.
And I was like, I had like a lot of plans of being like a writer on The Wire or like something like, and it was just so funny that I ended up doing what I'm doing now. But moved to Chicago, wrote a bunch of plays, and then started doing stand-up. And then when I met like my current manager who found me, basically, he saw me do a 10-minute set at a gay bar. And he's straight, by the way. But
what the hell was he doing there?
I think he had another client on the set. But anyways, when we met, he was like, do you have a drama sample? Do you have a half-hour pilot spec script? And I was like, yeah, I do. I'm ready to go. Let's hit the ground running. And that my sample was the first pilot I ever sold.
Yes. Yeah. So, okay, I'm curious. How does playwriting I guess the screenplay writing is the same thing?
It's not crazy. I will say that like I will only write a play now if something about it intrinsically makes it necessary or like only possible to do it on stage. Like there's some element that needs to be immediate or live or something. Because for me, like I see a lot of plays where I'm like, oh, you just wanted this to be a movie, but you couldn't get it made. You know, like I don't need to see another play that's like 2 people folding laundry and talking. I'm like, use the media, you know, Cola School O'Mary, like that. He is like using the fact that this is live and it's immediate and it's theater to make that story way better than I think it would be if you were watching. I'm sure they could make a
straight play,
an adaptation that would blow everyone's mind. They are so talented, but like, I think that show is one of the shows that proves like what theater can do and be.
Yeah.
And unless I can write something like that for theater, for the stage, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just started writing teleplays and TV and stuff like that. And that was like what I did for a while.
So would you go, so if you got, so would you do a singing and dancing role on Broadway?
Now?
Yeah.
Yes, as long as it were I would want to be a slightly more famous doing that because it would be a stunt. And like, I feel like people are slightly more forgiving of people who are stunt cast, you know? Like, we all saw Pamela Anderson in Chicago. And like,
I didn't see her in it. Was it crazy?
She was good.
Really?
But I was grading on a curve because she's so famous.
In Chicago, they do something like they had, I'm sorry, Wendy Williams was on. Wendy was not sing. They had Nene Leakes on there. I'm like, Nene Leakes not a singer, so I'm always like, but I feel like at other shows they don't do that.
Yeah, no, probably. I mean, Chicago is just like this machine that will keep running until like like the zombie apocalypse will happen, and the zombies will instinctually go back to the theater to do Chicago.
Literally, yeah. So so obviously you wrote and starred in Fire Island, which was iconic and fierce. I had Matt on here the other day we were talking about, and then but now you just sold a new show again.
Yeah, that's my movie. I will hopefully be shooting it in January.
Yes.
Start shooting it, and it's very different from Fire Island in a lot of different ways. But still, I think like. So it's something I'm really proud of, and it's much more explicitly about my relationship today and a lot of the shit that I put my partner through. And so it was really nerve-wracking writing this one because, you know, Fire Island was about me and Bowen and like a lot of experiences we've had. And that was nerve-wracking, like showing him that script and knowing that I had cannibalized like a lot of, not necessarily like full conversations that we'd have, but like a lot of the themes of what we were going through in our 20s.
Yeah.
This is a much crazier because there are like actual things lifted from fights and from conversations that I put into this movie. And I will say he read it. He was one of the first people to read it. And he just looked up at the end of the couch at me and was just like, wow, you really listen. So all was well. Like, it's good. It's a wedding comedy, which is one of my favorite things.
Fierce.
So yeah, I'm excited.
Oh my God. I love that you let him, like, I feel like I would be so protective about it. I would be so weird about showing my, but
I mean, it's a very very specific part of our relationship, and the characters are not full one-to-one avatars of us. Like,
okay.
And I'm not playing me. I'm playing the avatar of my partner.
Oh,
because it's also to give myself a little distance from it, you know, because it's very much connected to like my mental health struggles and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't want to live that.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not, you know, so I'm playing the like normal brained person, which is going to be a stretch for me.
Now you're literally so fucking smart. I hate you. But with the new season of Loot dropping, have you written any episodes for
You
Loot?
know what? No, I don't I'm not like officially writing on that show. I will say the writers are really generous with me about like sort of coming to me with the arcs and like ideas for arcs and letting me have some input. Like, you know, they were really, involving me in the episode with my parents from season 2 because they wanted to get that right and they wanted to be sensitive. But I think all of us, you know, we do it a couple times as scripted, and then, you know, it's Maya Rudolph and it's like all this cast of amazing people. And so like I will go off and like do little things and alts and stuff like that here, and many of them have made it into the show, which I always get so I am the Leonardo DiCaprio meme every time they use one of my alts because I'm like so excited about it. But it's not it's funny that show, the showrunner Matt Hubbard was a writer. I was on this NBC sitcom in 2019 called Sunnyside. That was the lowest rated premiere in NBC history and pulled off the air 3 episodes in, which they had not done in roughly 8 years. They weren't pulling shows off the air anymore because everything, you know, they just weren't doing that. And I thought it was like the biggest flop, the biggest like, you know, everything. And Matt was a writer on that show. And he, when he was writing Loot, created this character with my voice in his head. And so like it was one of those things where he was like, at the audition, was like, all you have to do is not fuck this up.
Word.
Because like we want you. And it's one of those lessons where, and that show has led to other writers from that show have gotten me work on their shows.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where it's like, at the time I was like, this is the biggest flop of my life. I'm so embarrassed. Like, am I going to work again? And you zoom out, you just don't know the ending of the story right away. Because it ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me because it led to so many other opportunities.
Yeah.
So
wait, so when does season 3 come out?
I've been told that it comes out on October 15th.
October 15th.
And it's like going to be the first 3 episodes and then it'll drop weekly after that. So
yes. I mean, you're in such it's you, Maya Rudolph, MJ Rodriguez, Michaela J.
Yeah.
Just legendary. Is Apple a nice company to work for?
I love it.
Okay.
I love it so much. It is the nicest. They're the greatest. I don't know. They are my mother, my sister.
I've heard they have really good crafty.
Oh, they do.
I've heard
that, for real.
Girl, I've heard the crafty on Apple sets that it's
well, they're a $1 trillion company, so I would be a little upset if they didn't put out for the food.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Monét Talks.
Hey, I know the episode was so good, right? You're so mad at you being interrupted. Well, I'm here for an important message. These are my current live dates where you can see me in person, being that girl, being gorgeous, being fabulous. Yes, all of these dates. So if you want to see your girl in person, go to monetexchange.com/live.
Monét Talks.
If your life is feeling out of sorts, out of balance, there's really, a lot you can do. But therapy is the thing that I love. Therapy has definitely helped me when my life has felt out of balance and working with toxic coworkers. You guys know the one. And yes, not to fix everything, but just to shift something. And that's why I love Grow Therapy. You can find a therapist who takes insurance and get started in as little as 2 days, not weeks or months. Grow makes it easier to find the right therapist for you. They connect you with thousands of independent licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions. You can search by insurance, provider, specialty, treatment methods, and more to find a therapist who is the right fit for you. And if it's not the right match, switching is easy. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Find therapy on your time. Evenings, weekends, virtual, in-person, tomatoes, potatoes, wham, bam. Book directly into provider calendars and cancel up to 24 hours in advance at no cost. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Sessions average about $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/Monét today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/Monét. growtherapy.com/Monét. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Monét Talks.
I mean, but now that you're fucking a TV star, are we done with comedy? Are you gonna give us some more specials?
Yeah. The thing about it is, it's weird because like I don't have as much time to devote to it anymore, and I don't feel quite as sharp as I once did. I have like the hour that I've been touring or toured at the beginning of this year and whatever. I want that to be my next special. Okay. I want to like put it out.
Yeah.
And then I will never say I'll quit. Because I really do love it so much, because for me, it's like the closest thing to a meritocracy in Hollywood in feeling, because like not necessarily like the talented people aren't always successful, but a lot of people say that like my success is DEI, like, oh, you're just a product of the diversity pushes in Hollywood, whatever. And the thing about stand-up is, like, in that moment when you're on stage making those people laugh, you can't tell me shit.
Yeah.
Those people, like, nobody forces themselves to laugh for an hour because of woke. Okay. Yeah. Like, it just, like, maybe a couple laughs here and there could be forced, but not for an hour, babe. And so it's so gratifying to me. And I want to hold on to it for as long as possible, because you can get in your head about like, oh my God, like imposter syndrome. Do I deserve this? Do I deserve that? And in stand up, it's just like their immediate, that feedback. And it's like, okay, I'm good. Like I'm fucking okay. And so I will always I think I will always need to return to that feeling a little bit. Yeah. But I want to like take a step back and wait until I have stuff to write about. Because quite honestly, like I thought my relationship would be much bigger fodder for material than it is. And unfortunately, I'm very happy and I have very little to complain about. And that, as it turns out, does not lead to amazing stand-up bits. So,
Right.
And it's also like my life is so weird now. Like when I was struggling in my 20s, working a day job, dating, hooking up all the time, like there was just so much like struggle to write from. And it was just like I was constantly writing observations about living life and going to the grocery store and all this shit. And it's like I still go to the grocery store, but like my life just is, I don't work a normal 9 to 5 anymore.
Yeah.
I have less to talk about that's relatable, you know? So it feels like I have to figure out some new ways of coming. And I have, a lot of my stand-up, like especially this hour that I've just been touring, is way less personal than it has been in the past. Like it's much more observational about like the world writ large.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited for people to see it, and I'm excited for it to be my next special, but I do think I'm going to need to take a break for a little while afterwards because I just feel guilty trying to go up and do spots. Like I try to go up like 5 times a week in LA, which is for me not that much. But when I'm shooting for 12 hours and then
you're
go
cooked.
up on
At the
a
end of the
show,
day, you're like, please.
it's like I'm so done. I don't see my partner ever. Like I just need like my nights free.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I because of how I've been in stand-up for three and a half.
And
3 years.
I have to say, you are so great.
Oh, thank you.
I think like always when like someone new enters and is like famous already. I was like, I remember standing at the back of the Bell House watching your set and being like, oh, thank God. Because you are like, obviously I knew you'd be a charisma bomb on stage, but you really have like gotten to the point where like you're writing, like you're writing.
Yeah,
you're not
writing
just
a
up
lot
there
now.
chatting.
Yeah.
You're writing.
I'm writing,
and so like, I am like immensely proud of you. And like, I think you've really, it's,
because,
it's great.
be like you and Mateo and Bob, like people who are like comedians are always like, oh my God, like I have a lot of friends who like do this, like Nicole, like legit, I can't be up there being some flop.
Yeah.
So I'm literally like feverishly like always writing, like on the plane, just like writing. And But the thing about because I didn't go through the usual stand-up
open mic
thing.
Yeah.
So like I've just recently started like open mics. Like normally I would just like try out my new materials when I would get booked to do comedy clubs on weekends. But last night or 2 nights ago I did Bar Bandini down in Silver Lake, which was so cute.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to do more time in just LA, just like being in the scene. Because also sometimes my audience is fully like they know me. So I'm like, oh yeah.
I will say, I am so grateful because like when I first started headlining clubs in 2016, no one knew who the fuck I was. The people that showed up that night for the show were showing up because they trusted the club. And so it was like really like a masterclass every like time I did a club because I had to come out there and make them love me by the end of the set. And now, and it was mostly straight people. And I never compromised like the topics that I would choose to talk about.
Yeah.
But it did help me sort of figure out ways to talk about it that could relate to a mostly straight audience.
Yeah.
Now my audience is so gay that like it's just gays and Asians pretty much now. And I'm so grateful to you for coming. But I like sometimes I need a straight person to pick on.
Yeah, like, I need, like how are you responding to that?
Like I just need that because it's sometimes it's way more fun to like dig into someone's relationship when they're straight because it just makes them a little bit more uncomfortable, you know? Like
totally.
And so it's a much different thing. And I think that's the other thing that I'm finding is, and reason I want to take a break is like I want to figure out like I want to do more like drop-in surprise stuff because I want to get back to doing audiences that like don't know who I am, and then eventually will not remember that I did stand-up. Yeah. So it just feels like a little bit more work, but a little bit more gratifying too.
Yeah, I feel that. I want to play a game, Joe. We're calling it booster shots. I'm gonna give you a word, name or phrase, and you have to respond with the first word that comes to mind.
Okay.
No explanations unless you want to dig into something and you just feel the need to. Okay. Jane Austen.
Corset.
Pride Month.
Tacky.
Tacky.
Just okay.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to play it.
Yeah. Whatever. I don't care anymore.
Netflix.
Go. Chill.
Marriage.
Hot.
Margaret Cho.
Mother.
Yes. Straight men at gay bars.
No.
Group text drama.
Side.
Side?
Well, like I just immediately thought of all my side group chat. Like you have the splinter group chat.
Yes.
Away from the
Those
main
are always
group.
so good. I'm
Yeah.
like, bitch, could
So-
you believe like what?
Because that's where you dissect the drama.
100%. Yeah. Therapy.
Good.
Province sound. That's a word.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fire Island.
Boardwalk.
The Midwest.
Flat.
Psychosexual.
Mental.
Dating apps.
Tired.
Yeah. No, not tired yet. Girl, I feel like that's how people only. I cannot tell you the last time I heard someone that said they met someone at a bar.
No, I listen. I'm not saying I'm saying I'm tired
You're
of
tired
it
of them, yeah.
because like obviously we're open and like I'm still on the grid and
same,
it is like it's just like it's my least favorite way to find a sexual partner, honestly.
I know. Well,
Like,
I because now I've started going to the gym and things, and y'all I've been meeting a lot of people on Instagram now. People have been like.
That is the new grinder.
It is the new grinder.
In a lot of
Instagram
ways.
has become a lot of ways to like connect with people. Bad date stories.
Fun.
Right? Reality TV.
Rot.
And last one, grinder.
Oh, brain rot.
Brain rot, honestly. Yeah, the other, my boyfriend and I, we are open with rules. We're not just freeballing.
No, yeah.
And but we were saying like because our rule is that we're open when we're not in town together. If we're
That's a very common way, yeah.
Yeah. And then but we were saying like the amount of time that we both noticed that we're just spending on this fucking app.
No, and let me be clear. Like, I'm talking shit right now, but I am a prolific grinder user. Like, when I'm on tour, when I'm in a new city, like, I am touching down. I'm scoping out. I'm roaming in that city before I get there to see what the talent looks like.
No, I don't do that because then I get my hopes up. And then by the time I get there, they're either have deleted the profile, they're not around or something.
Do you get catfished all the time?
No.
I do.
Do you?
All the time.
No, I don't really get catfish.
Yeah, no, it's guys who will message me who are like a little too hot and then they don't have their distance turned on. And that's always a telltale sign because what I do now is I star them, then go to my favorites, refresh my favorites and see where they land in the list of favorites, because if they're at the bottom, I'm like,
they're not
bitch,
close.
you're not in WeHo, you're in Asia, okay? Like, so I
you get catfish like that, like saying, like messaging you,
trying to get
it's mostly meeting up and they don't look like a picture.
Yeah, mostly it's just people who want to get my nudes.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, babe, search the internet, you'll find them. Not the good ones though. The ones from like 2017. That's my frustration. I'm like, guys, I'm not even using albums. I'm like begging for it. But like, yeah, it happens to me all the time. This happened to me in Palm Springs the last time we were there. Someone used my fiance's ex-boyfriend's photos to catfish me. And I'm like really good friends with my ex's ex, or my fiance's ex. And I was like, you picked the absolute worst person to use these photos with, because like the position was all wrong, the stats were all wrong, and I like immediately sent a screenshot to him and I said to the guy, I was like, not you using my fiance's ex-boyfriend's photos to try and catfish
That's
me. Like
fucking wild. Are you joking me?
No. And like, my fiance recently, we were driving to a party and somebody was using the photos of the guy sitting next to him in the Uber and was like, you aren't there, you're sitting next to me in an Uber. And it's crazy. I don't understand the impetus or like why people feel the need to do that. The scariest one though was I was home one night and this blank profile, no pictures, anything, no stats, no profile, like anything, 0 feet away, and just messages me, your air conditioner must be broke. It's so loud. It was broke and it was very loud. This man was standing outside my house at some point. And because the geolocation is not that specific, he had to know who I was and that I lived in that house to know. And then he blocked me. And then I bought a bat.
That's crazy.
Yeah, my partner had nightmares for like weeks because it was so like, I don't know if he was just trying to be like menacing, but I like that can happen.
I will say the grid over here in the valley is not great. Bitch, it's the hills have eyes. It is not great. So I'm like, so I don't even be fucking around up here. I wait till I'm not in town because the grid on this side of the hill is not lovely.
I've had pretty good luck in the valley.
It's not stunning.
Yeah.
But I feel like when I was on the other side of the hill, it was
Well, then the thing is I love
fruitful.
Big fish, small pond. You go on Grindr and WeHo, and suddenly it's like, how can I compete with this? You know? So, yeah.
Work. Joel.
Is that?
No, that's not it.
Oh, thank God. I was like, that cannot be it.
No. What I want to say is this harkens back to the time. So Joel and Nicole had a podcast together.
I was hoping.
Yes. Joel and Nicole had a podcast together. This was around the time of All Stars 4. Mm-hmm. And I'm listening. I'm like, oh my God, I love Joel Kimbusa. I love Nicole
You
Byer.
did not love me before.
I did love you.
Before that podcast, you knew who I was and you loved me?
Yes, because Mateo Lane told me about you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, he's funny. He's like, dope, whatever. Listening. And then I forget, I think it was episode 7.
I know exactly the quote.
Yeah, what's the quote?
The quote was,
Joel?
it was not that deep into the season yet.
Okay.
It was not that deep into the season yet. The quote was that I was like, I led up to it because I've been watching you in New York, like when I lived there. I've been seeing you since like 2014.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I was like, I'm obsessed with Monét. I was like, always been obsessed with Monét. I just wish that like she would bring what she brings outside of the show to the show. And listen, that might not have been fair. And in fact, we rewatched that season of All Stars and I texted you about it because by the end I was like, and maybe it's because we're friends now. I don't know. But like, again, it goes back to that thing of like, you were not real to me in that moment.
Yeah.
Like is exactly what it like happens to us now. Is like you just in that when you're just popping off. First of all, you never think people are listening.
Never,
to your
you never do.
Ever.
I'm gonna yes. 100%.
And then you went on your podcasts.
I was like,
deep pandemic.
I was like,
lockdown.
I cannot be the joking booth that said it about me.
You said no. You didn't even want to say my name. You said this E-list celebrity. Which, to be fair, that's actually quite generous at that time. And then Bob sort of got there. Yeah.
Yes.
But no, and it's funny because I can't remember what we did, but like some of the comments were like, oh, they hate, like, so parasocial, like, they're enemies. It was just like, and then, because I remember I saw you at Mateo's show, and it was the first time we'd seen each other in person since that happened, and we were both just immediately like,
literally.
Because I think, again, like, having been in both positions now, I realize, like, how that would be absorbed now in a way, and you understand that like I was just some faggot popping off, not thinking about like the repercussions.
Like you just get listen, like when you're in mid season of the show, like you just get every little thing. You just like, oh my God, like I was like looking back now, I wouldn't like never. I was just so hyper aware, and so I was immensely sensitive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, just overly sensitive.
I completely understand now having been featured on the show and featured on Pit Stop before I was on the show, which was not a good idea for me.
They get so mad at people. They're so stupid on there.
I would be so sensitive. I could not imagine having ridiculous. That fan base behind me. They're so, on one hand, like so supportive and rabid, but also like can be so
literally
like,
about face.
Yeah, and I think it's because like you all are so like active on social media that it really, and because you're spilling your fucking guts and having been on the show 3 times, everybody feels like they know you inside and out now. Yeah. It's wild.
It's really crazy.
So, I understand why you would have been sensitive to that.
Yeah. Anytime they have like, I think like even like you did it, Brittany Broski, Nicole Byer, or anytime y'all are guest judges on Pit Stop, they get so.
Oh yeah, they do not want to see a drag queen. And like I was there because I was like friends with Bob, and I get it. And it's like I would probably not do it now, but like I was so glad that when I judged, it was a comedy challenge because I was like, well, at least I have some leg to stand on here.
Yeah.
If it were like, I don't know if it were just other drag related activities, what I'd be able to judge or not. Because I, again, like being in a profession where people constantly tell me I could do that, I can understand why it would be frustrating to just like see someone who's never done drag one time in Chicago, painted by Kimchi.
What did you? Oh my God! Did you? You probably look.
I was
gorgeous.
fucking gorgeous.
You're gorgeous, yeah.
And it was like a competition where comedians would do drag for the first time,
Cute.
and then like do a pageant, and I of course won.
You won?
Yeah, and this was like,
did you sing for your talent?
No, I don't know if there was like a full talent portion. I think it was like a show because it was all comedians, so like we'd all go up and do like 5 minutes. But this was like pre-show Kimchi, and I'll never forget meeting her because she came up to me eating a Chipotle burrito outside of Berlin in Chicago, RIP, and was just like, "You look Korean. Do you want a bite?" And like that was the beginning of that. And then Mulana Del Rey was born shortly after.
Mulana Del Rey.
Yeah.
I was screaming. Yeah. Mulana Del Rey. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
This was a long ass time ago. I actually don't even know if I'd have to go on Facebook to find the photos.
Oh my God. Alec Mapa, he has a good one too. His drag name is Liza Manila because he's Filipino. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a really good one. Wait, I feel like I may have seen this picture before because Kim does this thing where she would randomly to our group chat like send old pictures of like celebrity friends she's done stuff with back in the day, and I think I may have seen this picture of you.
It's possible. I mean, I don't know why she would even. She might remember it now because we've been friends since Chicago. But like it was a really weird random like thing, and I lost. I had nerve damage in my toes. For
that
like
night?
Months because I tried to wear like 6-inch stiletto heels that were too small for my feet and walked around Boys Town in them like for hours and then got home and could not feel the two end toes for literally like a month and a half.
Damn. Not doing a semi-permanent nerve damage to put your
I like all power to you because
girl, that's why I have to get FFS surgery, foot feminization surgery.
I never know when y'all are being serious about that stuff. Like who's actually getting surgery? What's a bit like?
Did it for real, girl.
Grateful to know.
Did it for real. Chicago always has a special place in my heart because that's the first time. It was the first city that booked me before Drag Race. Just booked me to come out. I did XYZ at Roscoe's back. This party that's canceled now. Not canceled. They just don't do it anymore. And that was the first time I went to Steamworks. I'd heard about Steamworks. I knew I was going to Chicago, and then so I did Berlin. I did that Saturday party at Berlin, and afterwards. And my hotel, I didn't know. So my hotel was like downtown, like in the downtown area. So I had all my shit with me. Well, not my drag suitcase. And I was like, I can't go all the way back to my hotel. So bitch, I rolled over to Steamworks with my suitcase, walked through that door. That man behind the thing made me open my suitcase in front of the long line of faggots trying to get in, and wigs, makeup. It was so embarrassing. And I was like, do y'all have a lock I can store? He's like, no, but you can get a room. So I ended up buying a room to keep my suitcase and fucking live my life at Steamworks for one night.
Steamworks is like probably one of the best in the country.
He literally just said he went for the first time with this weekend. He said, I hated it.
Listen, I'm not saying like this is grading on the curve of every bathhouse in the nation. And when I started touring, I didn't have gay friends in every major city like I basically do now. And so it's kind of weird to go to a gay bar by yourself. It's not weird to go to a bathhouse by yourself.
Yeah, I prefer a bath by myself.
I've been to bathhouses in like 18 major cities in the U.S. And unfortunately, whether you liked it or not, Steamworks is kind of the best. I've been to bathhouses that have carpet on the ground. Okay. I've been there. I went to a bathhouse in Phoenix. Sorry if you work there or like this place, but I went on like a Thursday and it was dead. It was kind of early too, whatever. It was so dead though that someone had changed one of the porn theaters from porn to an episode of Chopped on the Food Network.
Oh.
And I stood there fully naked watching this episode of Chopped. And then this guy came up to me also naked and we both stood in silence, watched this episode of Chopped. And then I turned around and went home. And it was still one of the best experiences I've ever had in a bathhouse. So, yeah, it's not always great. But pro tip, if you're staying at a hotel, the gyms and bathhouses are way better.
They are.
They have actual equipment. I would be working out at these bathhouses and like and be like, oh no, sorry, this is not a performance. I'm actually doing this, but I'll be with you in 30. You know, like, but yeah, it's like. It's hard to go now.
Yeah, like it's hard to go. So that's why I only go in foreign countries. Like I was in Brazil last summer. I went to the one in Sao Paulo. The one in London is kind of cute. But in the States, I really don't. I have not been to a bathhouse in America since season 10.
I went. I was in New York Pride and I went to this thing called Spartacus, which is they like take a spa and basically turn it into a gay bathhouse. And I like immediately
in New York, only
for
Pride. You're saying
only for Pride, or special occasions. Yeah,
okay, word.
Like it'll happen like every 4 or 5 months, probably.
Oh, good to know. I gotta look
like
into that.
Halloween, I'm sure they do it, but it's like I really don't care necessarily. Like I'm out in these streets and like I'm not ashamed of what I like sexually. I'm not ashamed of like anything. I'm very open about like that part of my life. And but like there is something about like people being weird in those public spaces. Like
weird when they see you.
Yeah. And like I don't know. It's just not as fun anymore because like part of the draw was the anonymity of it.
Yeah,
and like champagne problem, babe. But,
it is.
Yeah.
Well, even on going back to Grindr for a little bit, that's what happens to me. Like the other day, where was I? I was in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I on a Grindr, and this guy goes, "Wait, aren't you?" Like literally first message, "Wait, aren't you Monét from Drag Race?" And I'm like, on the onset of that, now I'm just already irritated. It's that. Like, you could just be like, "Here, you're cute" or something, and we'll go from there. But just like identifying, "Wait, you're Monét from Drag Race. What are you doing here?" I'm like, "Bitch, what are you doing here?" I like the pictures.
I always appreciate it when they let me know in a like a normal way that like, hey, by the way, because I've talked about it on podcasts before, so people know that my least favorite thing is like when they're leaving and they're like, "By the way, love your work," and I'm like, well, if I knew you knew who I was, I wouldn't have been such a fucking freak back there.
You know what I mean?
Like, because now I'm someone's story, and it's just like, it's like, because like, and I get it. Like, this is my, like, when I send out my nudes, I know it's being shown in the group chat, at least to some extent. Yeah.
Nobody can screenshot on Grindr anymore.
You can if you don't use albums. If you just send like a wild photo, you can't take photos, screenshots of the album. So you can take photos of or screenshots of like wild photos you sent.
I didn't know that,
and I do. And but no, like I remember like when like moderately successful gay celebrities used to hit me up on Grindr. I was sharing that with like friends because it's like it's like life is so long and boring. Like something vaguely interesting happens to you. You want to share it with your friends. And it is my belief that like if you're sending a nude, you have to know that it's you like you're taking on the risk that it's being shown in the group chat for everybody. Because that happens all the time. Like people normally in a positive way are like, look at this fucking big dick that this guy just sent me. Like that happens frequently. And it's just like one of those things that you have to accept if you're sending nudes to a stranger is that like you have to be okay with that person showing his like 2 straight girlfriends at happy hour. You know?
I always say if you're gonna send a nude, you have to be comfortable that you know what your grandmother might see it.
Right.
And if you lead with that,
we're gonna be the first generation, and we kind of already are the first generation of like people where like politicians will have like that kind of stuff out there and it just won't even register. Girl. Like fucking Lauren Boebert's giving hand jobs at Beetlejuice and she's still in office. Like it doesn't matter anymore.
Girl, the times they are unprecedented. They done been unprecedented, that. Girl. Joel, I just adore you. Thank you so much for taking the time and for coming on this show. Anytime I get like, the girls in the house, I really appreciate it because you can do any other thing.
I do have a question for you before we go though, because you had that talk show, Exchange Rate, and this was like right after I had found out that you were mad at me. I got an offer to be on Exchange Rate, and I was like, this is a trap. She's going to confront me on her show about this comment. Was that just like the booker who booked me, or were you being diabolical?
Oh, no, I was being diabolical. Yes, girl, we're going to have our Tyra Banks and Naomi Campbell moments.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's so funny. Well, I'm glad we got to have it now.
I'm glad we had it now.
Yeah.
And congrats on season 3 of Blue.
Thank you so much.
With the legendary Maya Rudolph.
Oh my God.
MJ Rodriguez, Michaela J.
Incredible.
And you're just a fucking superstar. Don't forget all of us when you're winning your Oscar and your Emmy.
Oh, please.
Bitch.
Thank you.
And again. I mean, I will come be a water boy. I will come and serve crafty. I'm down to be on the
I love the cast of Drag Queen. Peppermint, like, really fantastic.
I know, amazing.
You can hate everything else about that movie, but you cannot hate Peppermint in that film.
Oh, so good. So I mean, if there's a scene in the gay bar, woo! I'm your girl.
I'll find a way. I'll get it.
Y'all, this has been Joe Kimbusa. Check out Lou season 3. And if you have not seen his stand-up special, it's still on Netflix. So fucking funny.
For now.
Oh God, don't say that.
Yeah, so watch it.
Watch it now before the FCC, ASPCA, whoever takes it off the air. This is Joe Kimbusa here on Monét Talks. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Monét Talks.